How's everyone going? This is Braden here from Robo. Thank you guys for coming. I'm one of the co-founders. I've been doing these Facebook Live interviews for the past couple weeks. Thank you to everyone that's attended, that's watching them. Hopefully you guys are getting some inspiration from some amazing customers and people that are using 3D printers and our products to build incredible things. So today, this is video number 3. We have with us a very special guest, especially for me. Mark is with the YouTube channel CarAudioFabrication. I first started talking to him when he built this channel back, this was a couple years ago, and he had about 20,000 subscribers. Now he has over 200,000, built a really big following on Instagram. He's doing a lot of cool stuff by developing different equipment for car audio, and he'll talk about that in a little bit, show how he's using 3D printers to build some different equipment. But let's bring him on board. Let's talk to him. Let's hear his story, and let's go through some of the stuff that he's actually created. Mark, I think I have you live on here. How's it going?
It's going good. I think we're live.
Thanks for joining me here. Thank you for kind of sharing a little bit about your story. I think people are going to be really excited about what you're doing. I always like to kick things off with a priming question. The priming question is basically, tell us about who Mark is.
Yeah, for sure. So Mark is myself, obviously, and I am an engineer by trade, but within the last couple of years, I've got really involved in custom car audio, custom vehicle interiors. So I've kind of used my engineering background in order to develop different products and different things that I want to actually install in vehicles. And I use the 3D printer in order to do multiple different projects and that kind of thing. So I have my YouTube channel, CarAudioFabrication, where I focus on doing car audio installs and build log videos and different tutorials and lessons and things like that for all the viewers and followers. So
cool, I love it. Also, just a quick side note for anyone that wants to comment. If you comment in the bottom, I can actually show it live. We can ask Mark. So feel free to comment if you have anything you want to ask or talk about, or just say, yeah, this is awesome. I love what Mark's doing. I can show that on the screen and everyone can see that. So thanks, Mark, for telling us a little bit about yourself. First thing I want to talk about after this now is when did you really, I know you built this amazing channel and you have a huge following now. And you've been, obviously, before you were using 3D printers, you were doing different types of development in car audio. But when did you start incorporating 3D printing into car audio?
So I first started incorporating it after I reached out to you guys and got my first R1 Robo 3D printer. Kind of my first exposure to 3D printing, though, I would say was in college. I think around that time, 3D printing was a lot more expensive. It really wasn't like a consumer able thing to do. Like as a consumer, you really didn't have the opportunity to do it. So I think the thing that really kind of resonated with me and made me really interested in tackling 3D printing was I was at SEMA a few years ago. And for those of you that don't know, SEMA is like for the automotive industry, custom car industry, that is like the big trade show to go to. And they actually had like a 3D printed car where they had made the complete body out of by using a huge 3D printer. And I think that's when it really kind of clicked in my mind that like, wow, this is something super cool where, I have the design background, I have the 3D modeling background, but so often being able to actually get a part into my hand would require, making prints and sending them out to a company that could then machine the part. And I mean, you're waiting, and obviously that's expensive. So that's when it clicked with me, like to be able to have that consumer grade 3D printing was something I was definitely interested in and wanted, to approach and take on. So that's when I first reached out to you guys. It was like 2015, which is like 3 years ago now. Yeah. It's 2018.
It's crazy. Time has flown. It has been a long time.
I can't believe it's been 3 years.
Flown through the roof.
I know. A lot of people now. It's crazy. No, I appreciate all the guys checking it out,
So you get to build, obviously, like with your background in mechanical engineering, you get to build all these cool, you can kind of basically customize from scratch any of the designs, develop them, print them, showcase them to your audience. Get a really unique experience for people. I mean, you're one of the only people I know that's obviously, there's probably plenty of people using 3D printing in different areas of, auto development, whether it's audio, whether it's the actual car itself, whatever it may be, components for the car, but you're the only one I've seen that's taking this on from building custom car audio equipment. So it's pretty cool, you kind of knocking stuff out like that. Yeah. How did you get into I don't know if you just said that. Maybe I missed it. I'm going through the audio, making sure everything's good. But how did you get into doing car audio?
So for me, it was just kind of like a hobby in high school. One of my buddies got a subwoofer system, and naturally you have to outdo your buddy. You can't have him being louder than you. So I mean, it kind of just started that way, and then like that was in high school, and then going through college, I had friends that were interested in it, and I was installing for them, kind of like hooking them up, building boxes and that kind of thing. And
did you have to build all the boxes originally from scratch? Were you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What were you using at that point? Were you like literally sawing boxes and stuff?
Oh yeah, and I mean, we still the boxes are so big.
Yeah.
At this point, we're still building them out of MDF. I mean, we can only hope in the future that a larger 3D printer,
print something that big. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that day. That'll be awesome. But I mean, as far as, and we can get into this in a little bit when we start showing some of the projects, but like some of the smaller stuff like this. You guys can see to hold speakers. It's like a speaker pod right here that I showed on the channel, and just doing some of the different like custom fabrication techniques that I use for making these big speaker enclosures and for making like custom door panels and other custom stuff within a vehicle interior. I'll show you guys. We'll get into talking about some of the different projects, but I'll show you like how I've really been able to apply 3D printing in that world.
Yeah. Cool. What software are you using to design these things?
Man, everything. The intrograde stuff from like SketchUp all the way up to like SolidWorks, and then Fusion 360, and everything.
Yeah, cool. So, okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one? Is there a specific one that caters towards like developing the audio type models, or
not really? A little bit of everything. I feel like there's, different things that are kind of good for, like you have stuff that's good for like a large assembly, but then if you're just making like a single part, I've really started to get into Fusion 360. That's kind of my favorite right now. I think it's cool. The thing I really like about it is that you can bounce from computer to computer and everything's in the cloud. It's really, because if I'm out in the shop or if I'm in the office or whatever, it's nice to be able to not have to like move those files back and forth. So that's why I like it. It's good to hear you
say that too, because we partnered with Autodesk to include Fusion 360 in our Robo C2. So everyone that buys those products is for a year, and we agree. We actually switched, and a lot of our engineering is now being done on Autodesk Fusion 360. So for the entire like builds for these products, so it's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's a nice software for sure. I've been enjoying it. So
most definitely. How I forget, honestly, I don't even remember back how we got in touch. But how did you decide on like Robo as a potential option for you? Was it a price point thing?
It was definitely like a price point thing. I was looking around, just comparison shopping, kind of reading through some of the reviews, and to me, it seemed like one of the things that was the most user friendly. I mean, I'm kind of techie. I can get into things that are more involved, but I knew I didn't really want to have to like buy a kit that I had to put together or anything like that. I kind of wanted something I could buy, plug in, start printing, and that's what I went for. So
So how much? So you've seen your channel. When did you start the YouTube channel?
To end of 2011, I think it was like December 2011. Yep.
When did this YouTube channel just start, like, I guess, taking off?
Man, it's hard to remember like when it feels like it's all flown so much. Like the biggest thing for me is the first video that I put up was on a woodworking technique that we call kerfing, where basically you cut partially through wood and it allows you to kind of bend. And I was talking to a guy in a forum about it, and he was kind of curious like how I did it. So I made a YouTube video, and the next thing I know, like every day I'm like, oh man, I got like 10 subscribers today. That's pretty cool. So I made a couple more videos, and the next thing I know, I mean, here we are. So
how many total videos do you have now on your channel?
250, I think.
Jeez, that's crazy.
So
that's incredible, man. I'm super proud because like I said, to everyone that's watching, that's coming in. By the way, once again, if you're coming in right now, or if you're going to end up here in a little bit and trying to figure out what it is, we're with Mark. He owns, and he's one of the presidents of the YouTube channel CarAudioFabrication. They have 220,000 subscribers, 228,000. I just saw 50,000+ Instagram followers. So he's grown that for the past couple of years, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, I remember when I first met you, you had, still a massive audience. I remember when I first talked to you, I was like, oh, you have like 25,000, 30,000 subscribers. I was like, that's incredible. Like, we definitely want to work with you. and now it's just gone 10x that. So we're going to be doing some more cool projects in the future, which I'm excited about. So everyone stay tuned to that. Go check out his channel. Now you said you've been building the boxes. You always build them like the same exact way because you don't have a 3D printer that's large enough at the moment to do that scale, at least in a quick manner. For some of the smaller parts, how were you making them before the 3D printer? Were you always using them, or did you have another process for that?
It's kind of like a woodworking / fiberglass process where you would be doing a lot of shaping. I mean, you could use foam to shape and then fiberglass over that. It's kind of like a hand process, if you will. Yeah. So the 3D printing and even it's kind of like I touched on earlier, and I'll show you once we get into the examples. Like I've been able to make some, I don't want to necessarily call them tools, but like aids that kind of assist in that custom fabrication process if it isn't something that I'm able to just completely print, if that makes sense.
So is the process you had before, is it saving you like time? Is it saving you money?
It definitely saves time. I mean, obviously 3D printing in and of itself can be time consuming once you hit the print button. But to me, the thing is like you can hit go on the printer, you can walk away and be doing other stuff. It's not like you're sitting there sanding away or, shaping or doing anything like that. Once you have a design, you're good to go. So
I always say it's like the old easy bake ovens, right? You set it and forget it.
Yeah,
I always use that at shows when I'm talking to older people. They're always like, "Oh yeah, like from the infomercials." I'm like, exactly from the infomercials.
Well, that's one of the biggest like comments I got when I first started showing some of the 3D printing projects. Is people were like this pod thing I was showing earlier. This took like 16 hours to print. And people were like, "Well, that's forever." But it's not like you have to sit there and watch it the full 16 hours. You can. So.
And in the grand scheme of things, when you talk about like, a lot of people say that we say like this takes 10 hours, this takes whatever. I mean, for example, if you order something similar online, I guess now with Amazon, you get them pretty quickly. But for the most part, everything takes a lot longer than it would be, even if it's a 15, 10-hour, whatever print. So you're going to get it a lot quicker, a final version. Whereas if you wait, I mean, think about just the prototyping process in itself takes weeks, months.
Oh, yeah. If you're having something custom machined or whatever, And then again, like we talked about earlier, the cost too.
Yeah.
So
when you got the 3D printer, were you specifically thinking that I'm going to use this Robo printer for my channel, or were you like, I could think of a million things I can use it for?
Man, it was just a million things. Like if we were at my shop, I could show you all the random things that like one of the things that I always think of is for like dust collection in the woodworking shop. It's like always impossible to get like the right connection on each side. So now with the 3D printer, I just measure one side, I measure the other, and I design a little adapter, and I'm good to go. So it's even like little things like that just make my life a little bit easier in the shop on like the fabrication side of things.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
So actually, speaking of what you said about measuring things out, we always talk about the world of like augmented reality, all the stuff that's coming out. Do you think it would be cool if you had augmented reality perspective, be able to look at something and eliminate the necessity of needing like the size measurements, but actually be able to look at it and design something in real life that would actually fit on a component?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, like if you could, I'm imagining. So you're kind of saying like you would design it in 3D and then
in the real world,
right? Yeah, and then see like what
you would actually install it in the real world, like through. It would be like digital and real.
Right. What would be awesome too, especially for car audio, is the ability to kind of like see what it looks like too, to make sure it's not too large, not too small. And I mean, even from like a professional car audio shop, like like let's say like 5 years down the line or whatever, like if you could bring in your customer and you already know what their car like looks like inside. And if you could have like, okay, sit here, put on the 3D goggles or whatever, and then they can like see what you're planning on putting in. I mean, man, that would be an awesome sales tool.
That would be pretty, I mean, that whole technology is going to be incredible, just in a number of different ways, but it's also going to help, I think, the 3D industry a lot, and designing is going to be, it's going to take it to the next level. So I'm definitely excited about that. All right, let's dive into some of the stuff you are making. I know you probably made a lot of, hopefully like everyone that gets a 3D printer, when they think they, some people either go, I'm going to do one thing with it, and then, they realize, well, I can do a million other things. Or some people will just go, I'm going to buy it and just like see what's out there and start making stuff. But let's see some of the cool stuff that you've actually made.
Yeah, for sure.
For your channel or just personally.
Yeah, well, like you kind of mentioned, just printing like something randomly that you think is cool. So, obviously there's some different websites that you can go onto, and people have already created models that you can download and print. So this is like one thing that I wanted to show. This is actually just a headphone stand. I downloaded this online, so can't take credit for designing it, but super cool design just to hang my headphones. I mean, you see things like that and you're like, oh, I can't pass that up. That's pretty cool.
I think that's a Thingiverse item. That's a pretty cool piece if you guys haven't checked it out. There's just tons of what I love about this industry, like to anyone that's watching that may just be interested in 3D printing or anyone that will watch, is that there is so many incredible designers online sharing free content that they've spent a ton of time designing and just saying like, listen, I want to share this with the world. And like my pride is how many people download it. Like they don't necessarily need, a monetary gain from it per se. They're just like, hey, I like designing, I like sharing, and I think that's really cool. And
for sure.
I like that side of the industry. So
nice. So a couple other things. So I mean, we talked about this speaker pod here. This is kind of like if you guys can see that, okay, that's like an insert ring, and then it holds the two different speakers. And then something that I've actually been going into production with.
Where does that speaker pod go?
So
is that like in the door?
So that would go in like the A-pillar location of the car.
Okay.
That's kind of the corner that it's in on the car there.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So something else I've actually been producing and selling through my website is this here. This is like whoops, sorry about that, guys. Yanked on my headphones. But this is a speaker aiming tool. So basically what you can do is you can take a laser pointer and you can put it in here like that. And what it allows you to do is a lot of times when we're placing these speakers within the vehicle, we want to make sure we know like exactly where they're aiming. So I can hold this on here. It has all these different steps on it, and then I know precisely where that speaker is actually aiming in the vehicle.
From scratch? Is that like developed by you?
Yep. I developed this, designed it. Pretty much everything else.
It's incredible, like seeing the things that people are designing. I mean, like this is definitely like obviously the channel is like a business for you, so it's cool to see you being able to design stuff that actually like positively affects making your business like more efficient.
Right.
And a lot of the people that we've interviewed have similar things, so it's cool.
Yeah, for sure. So this is like a smaller version. This is a little bit bigger version for a bigger speaker. And
so
then
you can size that up for the different size speakers. Bada bing, bada boom.
Right. And then here's something else. So this is kind of something I've been doing for some of the other guys in the car audio industry. It's actually just a business card holder, and this is black, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's like a miniature subwoofer box, just kind of
that's pretty sweet.
Cool little thing for them to show off to their customers. So
Are you gonna potentially like put a little speaker in there?
Everyone always says that. Yeah, I should design it for a little subwoofer.
Yeah,
but this is something else I wanted to show you. So I was talking about how I'm able to use it to like make tooling and stuff too. Yeah. So this is something pretty cool we did where we actually printed. You can see up in the corner here. That's the actual print. But what it is we made a male and female version of that. And we're able to form metal mesh. So, I mean, I'm sure you've seen like speaker grills and stuff before. They have like a shape to them. So if you can see that 3D shape, this is something that we would usually do with wood, but because of the wood, you can only get like one dimension of it. It's kind of hard to explain, but with the 3D printing, you can get like two. So we have and I mean, you could do something that's like side to side curved or whatever. So just kind of a cool application there for something.
So I want to explain that process a little bit again with the metal. You said called metal meshing.
Yeah. So if you see up on this piece here, so a lot of times we'll guard subwoofers or speakers behind like a mesh like this. So that's just flat right there. But if you can shape that mesh, it like adds like a super cool look to it, and it actually like strengthens the mesh a little bit too, makes it a little bit stronger.
Do you have to heat up the metal and then like put it on the mold, or how does that work?
So we actually just use like a hydraulic press that you would use for like pressing bearings out. And it's just like a little 10-ton press. You can get them, at a hardware store or whatever. But yeah, we 3D printed like the male and female side of that shape, and then just put the mesh inside, compact it down, and Yeah, and I was surprised because when I printed it, the infill settings were only like I don't know, like 25% or something. It was nothing insane. And I mean, 10 tons, we thought it would break, but it held up because this was actually at a training event that I was at that we did this. And I think this was like the class project. And I think we made like 30 of these. And I mean, it held up to the abuse.
Wow.
For the mesh. So
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. Anything else in there? I know you got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I got stuff. So like, I wanted to show you guys this. So just from, I'm gonna take you off the tripod. So just from a YouTube standpoint here, I just use it for like different displays and stuff. So I have this subwoofer here that I kind of wanted to display it in this orientation. So I actually printed this little stand here. Cool. And then I have some other like processors and stuff like that. So I actually printed these little stands.
Did you design those?
Yep. Yeah, designed all that stuff.
What's been your favorite 3D print today? It doesn't have to be something for your business, but what's been like your favorite project that you've worked on?
Probably that metal mesh thing. I mean, I don't know. Like,
that's pretty rad.
To me that was super cool. Just just the ability to use that as like a tool more so than like the finished product. I think that's really cool. And then just all the little upgrades around the shop, like seriously, it's so nice to not have to hunt forever for an adapter for the ductwork. Like I said, it's nice. So
do you ever print like little swag giveaways with the Car Audio Fab logo on it or anything like that?
Yeah. I've actually done keychains before. I wish I had one. I don't have a picture, but it was like a little subwoofer with the CAF logo on it. Yeah. And then I did send a bunch of the card holders out to all my buddies in the car audio industry. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. This is awesome. If you think about, I mean, I know you're using it now. You'll probably use 3D printing more in the future. Is there anything that, and actually, before I get to this, what materials have you been using? Is it mostly like PLA? Or are you using ABS? Have you used carbon fiber?
So for the random kind of just, fun stuff, I've been using PLA. Anything that's going to be in a vehicle, I've been using ABS.
ABS, yeah.
I talked to Kobe. I've started working with, what's it called? He was telling me about another like high temp material. I ordered some. I haven't tried printing with it yet, but we'll see how it goes. So
yeah, Kobe, for anyone that doesn't know that's my business partner who started Robo also, and he has like an old BMW that he's doing.
Right.
He's doing a lot of equipment for it. So I had him reach out to Mark, and I don't know if you guys are collaborating on something or if he's just getting some ideas from you on some of the stuff that you've done. But it's cool that I keep seeing him like, every once in a while, just adding a different piece to his car, and he's going to build it out probably over a couple of years. So we'll see how it comes out.
Right.
But yeah, cool, awesome. So PLA, ABS, obviously in the vehicle. Reason being is you don't want the PLA to melt and warp and things like that. Yep. So ABS actually will hold its structure even in high temps, which is good. Yep. In terms of where you see yourself maybe using 3D printing in the future, do you have any ideas or something like you wish you had? I know like we talked about bigger printing. Is there anything else that you're like dying to have in 3D printing?
Dual extrusion.
Dual extrusion, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we actually, for people that have the R2 that are dying for the dual extrusion, it's been delayed a lot longer than we were hoping, but we do have like it testing right now. It looks amazing. So
nice.
It's right around the corner. We're going to have this. We just wanted to make sure that we were releasing something that people were actually going to be happy about.
Definitely.
Extrusion is a tough thing to solve. So
and for the people that
device, which does more material once, which is cool.
Yeah, I was just going to mention for the people that are watching, maybe from my audience, the dual extrusion, gives you the ability to print. For me, what I'm excited about is printing something like a water-soluble material. Yeah. So rather than having to use support material where you're then having to break it off, you're printing something that you just put in water after you're done. And
it just dissolves away.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot more complex objects, the water-soluble quality when you're doing these complex objects. And obviously you don't have to like sit there and like break off every single piece.
Right.
It just goes away.
And kind of the thing that I'm interested in for that is a lot of times when you're taking off like door panels or whatever in a vehicle, like you might accidentally break a clip. So to have the ability, like especially if it's a hard to find clip, I mean, they're smaller, so it's kind of hard using the traditional printing with the support material to get everything to work. So I'm excited about the dual extrusion for that.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to get you one so you can test it out.
Nice.
And then, we talked about some of the favorite projects. Anything, I mean, I guess we pretty much covered everything that you're kind of working on. And kind of where we see it going, and the augmented reality potential portion would be incredible, especially for your business and just businesses in general, being able to design in real life. I think that would be pretty incredible. So if anyone's watching and like looking at augmented reality, that's maybe a place to start, like keeping your eye out for something to get into early on. Because I think
3D scanning too, I think is super cool, being able to actually like capture a surface and then adapt that and print something to mate up with it. So
have you done any 3D scanning?
No, not yet. Okay. No.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing 3D scanning for a while in terms of hardware, but what we realize is that these devices are going to become our scanners anyways. And there's already like people making pretty incredible, this already has 3D facial recognition on it. So there's already apps for it and things that are actually really high quality. It's going to allow us to scan from our smartphone, take that file and send it directly to the printer. It's going to be pretty incredible. So I'm hoping to see a lot more of that in the future. But that's pretty good. I just want to get you on. I'm glad we kind of kept it pretty short and sweet, which is good. Show some of the stuff you had. Tell people a little bit about the channel so they can go check it out, subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So again, it's CarAudioFabrication on YouTube. And basically I focus on how-to videos for how to make your own car audio system. I talk a lot about like tuning the system, actually designing the system, and then I talk a lot about actually building and fabricating the system. So, I mean, we spend a lot of time in our cars nowadays. Well, I don't know about everyone, but it seems like quite a few people do. So you might as well enjoy that time in the car, enjoy that experience, and have it look good too. So that's what the channel is all about.
Yeah, so go check out his channel, CarAudioFabrication. He's on Instagram. Is it CarAudioFabrication on Instagram too?
It's just CarAudioFab on Instagram and Twitter. Yep, and then on Facebook, it's CarAudioFabrication. So
cool. All right, go check him out. Thank you, Mark, for coming on. We'll be sharing this video on YouTube. I don't have any questions, so that's good. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can still write questions in this Facebook Live feed, and we can still answer them. I'll reach out to Mark if you have a specific question for him. This will be on YouTube. If you put questions on there, we'll be interacting with them over time. So thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. Also, we're doing some videos with him in the future. So he's going to have some cool videos with more 3D print projects for his car audio channel. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Excited for the future.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.